Ponyfans.com here with special teams coach Dennis McKnight. And coach, your top kickoff returner from last year is now a Dallas Cowboy. Your top punt returner from last year is now a Pittsburgh Steeler. Who are some of the candidates that you see stepping into those roles this year?
Well, by the way, they've been in camp a few weeks now, and I've got no commission check. But anyway, there's a good group back there. I mean, Parks, Crawford. We got some young guys back there, Cole Beasley, Darius Johnson. So we got a good group. We just got to get one guy to rise up out of there and kind of take charge of it.
I was going to ask, do you want one guy to emerge and take those positions individually, or could you see going through a committee system and rolling different faces out there throughout the year?
Nah, I'm not a big committee guy. To me, you look at last year, Emmanuel did all the punts, Brian did all the kickoffs, and when you got one guy that is consistently doing it, they get a feel with the blockers up front. The blockers get a feel for them. So we'll have one guy doing each starting on the 5th.
You got a lot of guys on this team, running backs, receivers, defensive backs, who can all run. What do you look for beyond pure speed that makes someone stand out as a potential return guy rather than just a sprinter?
Well, the way I look at it is you got three things to be successful. You got attitude, you got effort, you got ability. And I like guys with effort and attitude first. I want to see, can a guy change direction? Can he roll his hips? Can he play low? How athletic they are. There's a lot of guys can run 4.4 but can't cover kicks or block because they don't have the effort or want to do it. So I really look for guys that stay with the play longer than the opponent, things we talk about, and guys can change direction, because when you play special teams, if you can't change direction, bad things happen.
You mentioned Brian did kickoffs, Emmanuel did punts. What is it that separates someone from being either a punt returner or a kickoff returner? Or theoretically, could you have one guy do both?
Well, yeah, you can, but to me, a kickoff return guy, Brian was very good at gliding and then hitting it north and south and running downhill, where a punt return guy has got to be a little bit more, shaky, jukey moves back there, type like that, and then get going.
A lot of coaches, a lot of special teams coaches talk about the poise and the mental toughness you need to have to play on special teams, and therefore some of them don't like to play freshmen in key positions. Do you fall into that school of thought, or are you totally comfortable putting an 18-year-old out there?
Yeah, I mean, no problem. We had a kid 4 months removed out of high school last year, was our long snapper. He did okay for the most part. So, to me, you can tell, I don't think that has anything to do with it. You're either a football player or you're not. And special teams specifically is not for the faint of heart. We had some freshmen that played last year and did a heck of a job, and we'll have freshmen that play this year and do a good job too.
One of those freshmen who did such a good job last year was Margus Hunt, who came out of nowhere, and everyone could tell he was tall, but he ended up coming within one of the NCAA record for block kicks in a year. What is it besides height and arm length that makes someone an effective kick blocker, and how much better can he get? Well,
Margus has phenomenal hand-eye coordination. That's why he can actually see the ball coming off the guy's foot and put his hand in place to do it. So he's just he is a special kid. He's one of the greatest athletes in the country. I mean, just as far as pure athletes, and his hand-eye coordination is what separates from other guys.
Can he end up getting better and more productive, or is the secret out to the level that teams are going to game plan their whole block protection around him?
Well, people know him. He's a marked man, if you want to use that cliche, but also one of the biggest blocks last year came when Sterling Moore got one off the edge in a formation where they say you can't block it, because I think people were a little over-concentrated squeezing down in the A gap. So, Margus did get a majority of those kicks last year with his good hand-eye coordination, but, guys come off the edge, they know what to do too.
You mentioned Sterling. He's missed some practice with a toe injury. How much can he get back in there on that role based on his experience and his timing from last year, and how much does he get set back by not being in there working with the group in practice right now?
Well, obviously, rust can set on in a hurry, but Sterling is a smart guy. He plays the position with very good football savvy, what I call. So the only thing I think will hurt him coming back initially is maybe some conditioning, because you can't get that on the field, play after play type deal you get in practice. So the only thing I see with Sterling will be from a conditioning standpoint.
And you mentioned coming off the edge. Brian McCann picked up a couple of blocks last year and took them back. Who do you see stepping into his role on that side?
Well, you know, we got some good young guys, like I said, fast guys. Crawford out of junior college. Chris Parks is a young, fast guy, too. So we'll just take it step-by-step progression. Let's block it first. We'll worry about, you know, who's going to get it up and scoring later. But, you know, it's something we practice around here. Guys are where they're supposed to be, and good things will happen.
Last year, Matt Szymanski handled your kicks, your place kicks, and your punts. Do you want him to fill all the roles again, or you know you've got 6 or 7 kickers in camp this year? Would you like to share the duties with some of the others?
No, he better do it, and he better do it better than he did last year. I mean, I think Matt Szymanski is an NFL-type kicker and punter. You know, Thomas Morstead did both here, but I think Matt Szymanski is actually better at both than even Thomas was. So Matt knows the expectations I have of him. He has those same expectations for himself, and I think he'll do a great job.